If your specific person is not replying to your messages, if you have asked them to meet you and they keep on postponing it, or maybe they are pulling away from you. Maybe they are showing less interest in you now as compared to the time when they first met you. Internally, you might feel uncomfortable, wondering what you have to do now. Should you reach out to them? Should you ignore them? Or what else can you do that they will never expect from you? Well, this is what I am going to tell you today. I will share with you a very simple practice that you might have heard of before, but I bet you only have half knowledge about it. Everyone told you to follow this practice, and you believed that this was the only thing that you had to do, but you were not aware of the crucial thing that you had to do in order to get them attracted towards you. Now, I know when your specific person ignores you, it feels terrible. It feels like they will forget about you, and you are desperate to reach out to them. Internally, you are wondering what your specific person is doing. Where are they? Are they with someone else? Are they dating someone new? Doubts like these start appearing in your mind. Also, you are in such a state of neediness that you think that you have to reach out to them. You think if you call them and speak to them, or if you meet them once, then you will be able to ignite that spark in your relationship. I know you have been in this situation, or maybe right now you are in this situation. You are experiencing hot and cold behavior from them. But don't worry, because this situation will change. You will turn around the situation, and they will start chasing you. This will happen. Many people have made this happen, and if they can do it, then you can do it as well. There is nothing that a man cannot achieve. Only when they make up their mind about something can they find ways to make it happen. But since I have already been in this situation, and after reading many people's experiences and hearing relationship coaches' advice, I figured out something that has worked tremendously well. I will also share a story where I applied a practice that has given me tremendous results. When I applied it in my situation, it worked like a charm, and it made that person attracted towards me. They confessed their feelings towards me, and everything became great once again. But, first of all, I want to remind you that even if they are ignoring you right now, this does not mean that the world has ended or you have lost them forever. They will return to you, and this will happen quickly if you stop being needy and desperate. Nothing comes great out of desperation. Desperation and neediness are two such things that you have to avoid in this situation of ignorance at any cost. There is a very strong reason for this, and that is that these two things are one of the most unattractive traits that you can possess. In this state of desperation and neediness, you act and say things that are foolish, and you display behaviors that are highly unattractive. Also, during this time your mind is filled with negative ideas. You are thinking in a very unfavorable manner. This time is very crucial, and you have to avoid being desperate at any cost. Now you might wonder what you have to do then. Well, you have to do the totally opposite of what you were thinking. Firstly, you don't have to reach out to them. You don't have to call them. You have to follow a rule of no contact. I know you have heard about it. In your mind, you are like another no contact video. If you are thinking in this manner too, then you have half knowledge about no contact. I know you have tried doing no contact, but you have failed earlier. Whenever you tried to get in the state of no contact, you started to think about your specific person much more than earlier. You started to stalk them more, and in your mind you started to entertain stories that made you feel terrible. While no contact is a great psychological practice to increase attraction between you and your partner, you don't know what exactly you have to do during no contact. You probably have watched many videos on this topic, but you still are not aware of what needs to be done during this no contact. You think that you have to wait for them to respond to you. If you also think this way, then tell me in the comments section. This is a very common understanding, and this is because every relationship coach has given you the advice of waiting for them to reach out to you. So, your mind thinks that you have to wait for them. Well, this is the half knowledge that you are aware of. I am not denying that you have to make them reach out to you and that no contact is some bad thing. I am only saying that you are unaware of what you have to do during no contact. There would be very few channels that would share this secret with you on their YouTube channels for free, while the rest of the channels would probably charge you for this information. I am sharing this information with you for free in this video because, out of many topics, this is a small topic that I have included in my upcoming course. By sharing this here for free, I want to give you an idea of what kind of content you can expect from my upcoming course. Only the format of information might differ, like the content that I am providing you is in a video format because YouTube is a video sharing platform. The content in my course would not be limited to only videos. You would get audios and PDFs too. Anyway, coming back to the topic. The biggest question that arises is, what do you have to do during the no contact while waiting for them to reach out to you? Now, if you go in no contact, but if you keep on stalking them or thinking about them obsessively during the whole day, then you are not doing the no contact correctly. You are not doing anything that will make them attracted towards you. So, it is crucial for you to improve your self-concept during this period of no contact. You have to improve the way you perceive yourself. You have to improve your image in your mind. You have to improve the way you view yourself in this relationship. Also, you have to take your specific person off the pedestal. You have to view them as a normal person who has the potential to chase you. You have to view them as someone who is obsessed with you. All changes that you have to be internal. You have to make those internal shifts. I bet 90% of the people don't make this internal shift during no contact. I bet these people only become more desperate during this phase of no contact. They feel uncomfortable during this time. They stalk their person, and they keep on obsessively thinking about their person. It is during this time they start entertaining much more negative ideas about their specific person and their situation. This happens only because they are waiting for that person to reach out to them, because they only have been told that they have to go in no contact. They don't even know the significance of no contact. They don't even know about the practices that they have to follow during this time. They only know one thing, and that is they have to wait for the person to reach out to them. This makes them desperate and needy. But I don't want you to go there. I want you to take full advantage of this time to bring meaningful changes to your life. Now, when you start making changes in your self-concepts, when you start making changes to the way you view this other person, you start manifesting some changes in your relationship dynamics, and you start to experience different circumstances in your life. This is because your external reality is just a reflection of your inner reality. What you feel internally gets manifested externally. So, manifestation is just an internal game that you have to play. It is a game of beliefs, where you change your beliefs, where you change the ideas and feelings towards yourself and your specific person. Now, when you go into no contact, you do something that your specific person never expected from you. Your specific person is expecting from you that you will flood their phone with text messages and calls. But when you keep calm and go in the zone of no contact, you do something unexpected that is attractive. This shows that you are not chasing them anymore, so they stop running from you. But since you have manifested this outcome where they are ignoring you, this means that you have poor self-concepts, which means that you are entertaining bad stories about yourself. Now, this no contact will get that initial push in the attraction, but it will stop there if you don't change the way you view yourself. If you don't start changing your self-concepts, then you will be stuck in this loop of waiting for them to reach out to you. That is why it is crucial for you to work on your own concepts. Now, there was this person that I was dating, and this person had fallen in love with me. At that time, I was not having the same kind of feelings for them. At that time, I was a highly motivated person who wanted to do many things in life and who wanted to improve in every area of life. So I was working out, reading books, studying for a professional degree, doing freelance work, and going on dates. I was in a place internally where I knew I could get many dates, and I know how to communicate effectively. During this time, I met this woman who, in a very short time, has fallen in love with me. I knew her before, but when I was internally in this state of consciousness where I was feeling highly of myself, not in an arrogant way but as this motivated person, then this woman started to come close to me. I didn't have feelings, but we started spending more time together. And during this moment, I somehow stopped working on myself. Everything was going smoothly, but somehow I started to become more interested in her life than my own. This continued, and now when she started to pull away, I became desperate. At that time, I didn't know what to do. Later, I realized that she started to pull away because of my self-concepts. I was not improving in any area of my life. Like stagnant water, I was existing. It was a horrible time, and she started ignoring me, and I started to reach out to her even more. But this backfired on me, and I was left alone. I was blocked from everywhere. Then I came across the teachings. In the earlier days, I started to think that I have to do some X, Y, and Z technique and I will get that person obsessed with me. So, I tried to do it, but it was a failure for me. The person unblocked me but started ignoring me. I was reaching out to them in this desperate energy. I was reaching out to them in this neediness, double texting them, and only receiving a very short reply. Then, as I started to become more aware of the teachings, I figured out what I had been doing wrong. I figured out that it was never about that specific person, it was always about me. It was always about how I was viewing myself. It was always about what I was believing about myself. It was always about how I was feeling about myself. It took a lot of time for me to understand this. So, this time when she blocked me, instead of getting desperate and blowing her phone with texts and calls, I started to go in a no-contact zone. Not only that, during this time I started to improve myself. I again started working out at the gym. I started to reconnect with my friends, and I started learning some new courses. It didn't stop there. I also stopped seeking any validation from this woman, and I started to work on my self-concept. Now comes the fun part. After a few weeks, out of the blue, this woman called me. She was drunk, and she was telling me that she misses me. She was scared that she would lose me. She was scared that I was having an affair with someone new. This is what happened when I took control of my life and diverted the attention to improving my self-concept. She reached out to me. Before this incident, I was in no contact, but I didn't stalk her. It was like I pulled back my energy from her. I diverted that focus on me, and I started to work on my self-concept. And this is how I became attractive again. I didn't wait for her to reach out to me. It was not like if I stay in no contact and do this or that, then she will reach out to me. I was more concerned about that internal shift. I was concerned about improving my self-image. It was more about changing the dominant feelings of neediness and desperation. Guided meditations helped me during this time. A mental diet helped me, and I manifested this outcome. Now, after further reading about Neville Goddard's books, I figured out that everyone is a reflection of what we believe about ourselves. If we believe that we are not good enough, then other people display that to us. They are like messengers telling us who we are. So, whatever we entertain within ourselves gets mirrored back to us in our reality. This is how I recognized that it is never about that specific person or that specific thing. It is always about how I view myself, what I believe about myself, and what I feel about myself. It is always about me. This is the truth that only a few people will know. It is not about changing another. It is about changing yourself, and by doing this, you automatically change another. I wish you to experience this truth in your life and you to stop chasing that person. You to stop finding techniques and ways to make this happen. Instead, you too should start working on yourself and start making those meaningful changes in your life. If you feel loved within yourself, you will manifest more circumstances and people that will display that love to you. You will find more reasons to feel loved. You will find more people who are attracted towards you, who will be better and much more capable. Only because you change the dominant feeling of desperation to the feeling of love. You can imagine favorable outcomes that generate these feelings within you. You can also take help from guided meditations. I have made one such meditation where people have manifested a phone call from their specific person. You too can do it, and you can find this video by clicking on the first video that now appears on the top right corner of the screen.